Hey, all you comic book readers and true believers, it's Tuesday, and I'm your ever-loving blue-eyed comic book guy, Mitch Harmon. You guys know what's up, Mitch's Picks. From DC Comics, Year of the Villain, Black Mask, one-shot, written by Tom Taylor, art done by Cully Hammer. This is a one-shot, just like the Sinestro one that was a couple weeks ago. This is a origin story, plus kind of putting Black Mask into this universe of villains taking over and everything. Black Mask has escaped from prison, and he has no plans of going back, trying to get back on his feet, robbing an armored train, or I'm sorry, an armored car. But then things kind of go belly side up, and he's kind of stuck in this armored car with one guard, just trying to figure out what he needs to do. All of a sudden, a very Black Manta-like drone comes flying in out of nowhere, cuts its hole out, and then projects a hologram of Luthor down in there, telling Luthor, telling Black Mask about he can get him out of here, but he needs him to do a couple of favors. Pretty much kind of securing certain types of corporate interest and whatnot. A little bit of corporate espionage, I guess you could say. This is just a one-shot helping you set the place for Black Mask. Just kind of an off story, but if you're interested in the origin of Black Mask or possibly finding his place in all this DC Year of the Villain stuff, definitely recommend picking this up, guys. Check it out. From Dark Horse Comics, Hellboy and the BPRD, Saturn Returns, number 1 of 3, written by Scott Alley and Mike Mignola, art done by Christopher Mitten. This is a new miniseries coming out of the Dark Horse Comics, the Hellboy universe, I guess you could say. Set in the year 1975, Hellboy and Kinsley, I'm not really familiar with this agent, are out there investigating a mass grave that was uncovered, but all the grave, well, the majority of the corpses have a giant hole in their chest where it looks like the rib cage has exploded outward, and there's just a missing heart inside of there. Hellboy kind of suspecting maybe it's a little bit of mass serial killer, maybe it's a thing of possession, maybe it's just a demon altogether, not really sure. But some of these corpses date back all the way to the 1920s, where they didn't have holes in their chests, so maybe someone changed their method of serial killing. I'm not entirely sure. This is a new miniseries from Mike Mignola. Like I said, Scott Alley is attached to this as well, and Christopher Mitten doing the art. Really, really cool story if you're into the Hellboy stuff. If you're not, it looks like it's going to be a little bit of an occult mystery murder type of story going on as well, and familiar faces such as the Doctor, and also Liv herself is going to be in this, or Liz, sorry, as well, is going to be in this. Looks really good, and anything written by Mike Mignola, definitely worth a read, guys. Check it out. From Marvel Comics, Absolute Carnage vs. Deadpool, number 1, written by Frank Thierry, art done by Marcelo Ferreira. I kind of butchered that name. This is the new miniseries coming out of the Absolute Carnage stuff. We had the Scream out already. Miles Morales is coming out soon, and Lethal Protectors. This one's revolving around Deadpool. Deadpool is always fun trying to team up with Spider-Man. Maybe even wanted to give him a birthday party. Well, Deadpool doesn't work too well when Deadpool doesn't know his secret identity, so he can't really invite all of his friends, so he invites all of his enemies. And of course, Spider-Man is just kind of done with Deadpool after this point and recommends him seek help, serious help, like Ravencroft type of help. And Deadpool just so happens to go and seek this help right around the time when Absolute Carnage is breaking out all of these prison inmates, turning them into carnage zombies and all this stuff. And at first, Carnage is just kind of like, whatever, it's just Deadpool, he's just kind of in the way, let's just not worry about him. But then come to remember that Deadpool was actually bonded at one point in time with 4 symbiotes, Carnage's siblings. I believe it was Agony, Riot, Lasher, and Phage, all bonded to Carnage, and so, all bonded to Deadpool. And so Carnage's eyes, he's seeing him as the motherlode of all codexes. These really get that spine out of Deadpool. This is a new miniseries coming out of the Absolute Carnage stuff. It's only going to be 4 issues, just like the other miniseries. Almost kind of plays off of the original Deadpool versus Carnage that was written like 3-4 years ago. Kind of playing into that a little bit, but it's kind of its own story as well, tying into the Absolute Carnage stuff. If you guys are a fan of Deadpool or just really interested in seeing more of this Absolute Carnage stuff, I highly recommend it. Check it out. From Image Comics, Pretty Violent, number 1, written by Derek Hunter and Jason Young, art done by Derek Hunter. This is a new this is a new ongoing, as far as I can tell, series coming out of Image Comics. The story revolves around Gamma Ray. She is a hero who is just trying to be the best hero that there is, kind of misreading certain situations sometimes. For instance, the Hulktress had hunted down Manimal, and she had finally captured him in his human form and was getting ready to just clobber this guy. And Gamma Ray, all she sees is this big hulking Huntress getting ready to punch a little kid in the face. And so she rushes in, tries to stop it, only to find out that she was actually stopping a hero from hurting a villain, in which case she was, well, ridiculed by not only Huntress and Manimal, but also all the civilians that happen to be around her, witnessing her stopping a hero from doing their job. But that doesn't deter Gamma Ray, at least not too much, trying to just find that niche for a hero. It's a little difficult though when her entire family is nothing but supervillains hell-bent on destroying the entire city. I'm sure it's got some awkward family holiday moments going on. This is a brand new series coming out of Image Comics. Derek Hunter actually called us directly at the store and talked to me a little bit about it, and I tell you, the things that he couldn't tell me everything, but the things he told me about this series looks like it's going to be very, very interesting. Plus, there's an alternate cover done by Ryan Otley. This book, despite its images, is not for children. There's a lot of gore, and there is a fair amount of swearing as well in this book, but really fun read. If you're into the little bit of the I Hate Fairyland type of genre look and whatnot, this is definitely up your alley, guys. Check it out. From IDW, Transformers 84, number 0, written by Simon Furman, art done by Guido Guidi. This is as far as I can tell, one-shot that is coming out of the IDW series. This actually takes place before the 1984 original Transformers series. Kind of explaining about Optimus Prime, talking about Cybertron. Not only has Cybertron been thrusted out of its orbit, but now careening towards a debris field, but also there is the Megatron and his Marauders, Decepticons, who are just ravaging Cybertron, trying to take it for their own. Shows also Optimus trying to make these certain decisions to better secure a future for Cybertron, even going as far as to trying to jut Cybertron into the orbit around our galaxy's sun and whatnot, even sending troops to Earth right around the 12th century to just kind of scout it out and see if this is a habitable place for him and his Autobots to seek refuge for the time being. As far as I can tell, there is not going to be continuation of this. However, they do kind of, as far as my knowledge is, they kind of introduce a new storyline for Optimus. Maybe all of his motives weren't completely honest and truthful that we all believe Optimus Prime to be. Some of it may have been slightly deceitful to try to get what he thought was necessary for protecting Cybertron. Really cool story, guys. Even if you're not a fan of the Autobots and Decepticons Transformer stories, this is a cool story about the history of the Autobots, and gives you a little bit of espionage into this one as well. A little bit of undercover secret agent Autobots, I guess you could say. Like I said, just a one-shot by itself, but it's a really rad story, guys. Check it out. That's all my picks for this week, everyone. Keep reading your comics, true believers. See you guys next week.